21.
Oh, great.
Yes. And
Uh,
I'm
how do
working
you,
to visa
yeah,
section.
how do
Yes.
you find India? You like it? And what is your experience so far?
Oh, it's very good place.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Good.
Now in my second place.
Okay, great. Have a great time here. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, it's good. Let's be start the class, and today we are going to discuss about Indian traders in West Asia. So, how many of you are familiar with this topic? How many of you are familiar with this topic? Anybody who have any idea? Like, just I need your interaction here. So, have you read somewhere, or are you aware of this fact? Indian traders, they existed very long time in West Asia. Like, I think anyone from just if you have any general knowledge, so you can just discuss with me before I start the class. So, anybody like Sanjeev or Dominic or Basir, Basir must be knowing because this West Asia connection. So anyone? No, or it's a new topic to you. Tell me because I like to know your views about this topic. Hmm?
Uh,
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah, yes. Maybe you have some network problem. I think somebody, Dev Pragya, I think she was trying to say something. I could hear
uh,
her voice. Yeah.
yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now. Yes.
Uh, Historically, if we see, historically, there have been a lot of this trade moments between West Asia and India. We have a lot of record from Indus Valley civilization also, and now because of the uh, best means of connectivity, it has flourished, and there is a lot of Indian community in all over West Asia who are
Mm,
doing very well. These trade relations are mostly people from India living there, and it
yeah.
is. I don't think it is the reverse way also this of the same magnitude. So a lot
Yeah.
of people there living there, trading there.
Yeah. Tell me. Yes, that's good, Bazir, for your nice comment on this. So today, we are going to discuss this topic, Indian traders in West Asia, which is a historical topic. I'm going to give you historical perspective. What is historical perspective? What is historical perspective? Anyone, can you just tell me what is historical perspective? What is the meaning of historical perspective? Sanjeev or Dev Pragya or anyone in this class. There are 8 participants, so anyone, just see what it can be a good guess. Okay, whether you're giving right answer, wrong answer, doesn't matter. Okay, you all should participate in this class. Yes, go ahead. What is the meaning of historical perspective?
So, sorry, sir, historical perspective, is it related to early migration that
Mm,
what we call labor migration was there? Since
yeah.
since then, lot of developments have been taken place. They settled there, and
Okay.
they started their own. I
Mm,
mean, trade and business, something like that.
okay. No, that's right. But something else. Okay, good. Sanjeev, thank you for your point of view. And I want others also to respond. Sandhya, yes, Sandhya, she has raised her hand. Yes, please. Yeah,
Hello,
what is,
everybody. Hello,
yeah,
sir.
hello, hello. Yeah, good
Uh,
afternoon. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Mm,
So, historical perspective, the term, trying to explain the term itself is that trying to understand a concept or a phenomena from its roots. Like we're trying to
okay.
understand how it has begun and how it
Yeah.
has evolved. So
Okay.
here, about the Indian traders in West Asia, again, quoting the previous person who said, about the
Okay.
Indus Valley civilization and the trades that happened during at that time. So we are
Okay.
trying to understand the evolution of this concept from the
Okay.
from this perspective. So trying to
Great.
understand something from its origin to its current state. would
Oh,
be
great.
historic
Yeah, fine.
perspective.
That's great. That's great. Sandhya, it's good. Okay, next. I want to say hello to Kartikeya Singh. No, he has not given me hello. Kartikeya, can you just give me hello and just give your introduction, please? Kartikeya Singh. Can you unmute yourself and speak to me? Sanjeev, he spoke to me. Domenico, he spoke to me. Dev Pragya spoke to me. Okay, Basisa spoke to me. Okay, Sandhya, okay, she spoke to me, yes. And Kartikeya maybe is not connected. Okay, that's fine. See, today I'm going to discuss about Indian traders in West Asia. Historical perspective means we are trying to, trace, from the past and to the present. The historical perspective is a linear perspective. It's called evolutionary perspective. You try to trace, from the origin to the present. That's called history, linear. The progress of anything, any phenomenon, that's called historical perspective. Okay, you are tracing it from its origin to the early stage, the mature stage, the present stage. That is called, it also can be called evolutionary perspective, in a way that you try to trace from the early stage to the present one, the linear growth. Okay, that's what we are going to do now. So Indian traders have been settled mainly in the Persian Gulf or Arabian Peninsula region. Okay, so India has a very strong trade connection with Arabian Peninsula or Gulf, the Gulf of Persia. Okay, because of its proximity, from Bombay or from Kerala or even from West Coast, you can just 5 hours journey or 3 hours journey to Gulf region. You can go to any countries very easily nearby. It has a you have the what do you call the proximity, the geographical proximity, the geographical connectivity is there always. Because of that, India and Gulf region has a long trade connection since Indus Valley civilization. Okay, that is what what is Indus Valley civilization? It's a proto-historic civilization. What is proto-history? See, historical phase can be divided into 3 phases, prehistory, proto-history, and history. Prehistory means the period for which no written records. Proto-history means a kind of writing developed during that phase. That's called proto. So Indus Valley civilization is a proto-historic civilization, okay? So even since then, we have a trade links with Arabian Peninsula. That is what the point. So now you have this, 6, now it's called GCC countries. Now they have this new term, which is very quite popular in the public today. GCC country, that's Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and also, Saudi Arabia, and you call United Arab Emirates and Yemen. So these are the, 6 countries, which is known as 6 Gulf Cooperation Council countries. You see, the presence of Indian traders in the Persian Gulf region can be traced back to at least 6 centuries, so 16th century in Oman. And so 16th century, even the Portuguese, the Portuguese, when they discovered the land routes to India, who discovered the sea routes to India? Sorry, who discovered the sea route to India? The Portuguese, Vasco da Gama. Okay, so the Portuguese, as a colonizer, they also, we could refer to their records. They refer to the Indian traders present in the Gulf region. Okay, so that's what, so 16th century BC, we have records of the presence of Indian traders in Gulf region. Although in modern times, the presence of Indian traders in the Persian Gulf can be traced back to 16th century in Oman, particularly, and also other countries like Bahrain, Yemen, or in present day UAE. That is what. But actually, this Indian trade community, they became very visible. They became stronger during the British colonial time. That's what you have to keep in mind. Though India has maintained its long trade links with the Gulf region, but the consolidation of Indian trading community started during the British period only, because the Gulf region was part of British colonial empire. So they encouraged Indian traders to trade with this region, to settle there. They were the British subjects. They had the privilege, okay, to go in and to be there as traders in the Gulf region. So they had many, concessions, in the Gulf region to start trade. And that's what they were, privileged traders in the Gulf region. Indians were doubted as the agents of the British. The Indian traders were doubted as the agents of the British. That's what the local records, the local scholarship has revealed that. Okay, see, the archaeological and literary evidence suggests that India and West Asia had a trade since Indus Valley civilization days. But a considerable number of Indians appear to have migrated in the Gulf region to even pre-Islamic era. That's what the Indus Valley time, but not much in number maybe, but a small, few traders were, they just were trading with India and Gulf region, and maybe they settled there, they assimilated with the local culture, all that. Okay, but you have two types of traders in Gulf region: PIOs, people of Indian origin traders, and also NRI, non-resident Indian traders now. Okay, that's what, there are two kinds of Indian traders. What is the meaning of people of Indian origin? Anyone from this class can tell me what is the meaning of people of Indian origin and what is the meaning of NRI?
Sir, people of Indian
People of
origin.
Indian origin are those who actually were Indians but now live in other countries.
Okay.
And NRIs, they can come back. They are here. They are there also.
Yeah,
So
that is right. But
I think that is the difference between the two.
yeah, see, the PIO means people of Indian origin. It means they have become citizen of that country. They don't have Indian passport. They are no longer Indian citizens. That is what PIOs. For example, I went to a particular country and I lived there. Then I gave up my Indian citizenship. Then I obtained the citizenship of that country where I live. That is called PIOs. They are known as people of Indian origin. NRIs means you are an Indian citizen, you're having Indian passport, living in other country. That is called NRIs. So there are two kinds of Indian traders in West Asian countries, in GCC countries. Okay, PIO, that's what the old traders who went before colonial period or even during the colonial period. And now the new migrants who became entrepreneurs, who became traders, they are called NRIs, non-resident Indian traders. Clear now? There are two types of traders among the Indian traders. Okay, PIO Indian traders and NRI traders. That's you have to keep in mind. See, at the advent of, even before the advent of Islam, there were mainly Indian settlers in Arab who were involved in various activities. Okay, medieval Arab sources also provide the earliest evidence of the presence of colonies of Indian merchants in the Persian Gulf and Red Sea areas. That's what we have, literary sources to support the presence of Indian traders in the Gulf region. So that's what, you see, the Hindu merchants were present in the port of Siraj on the Persian shore of Gulf, at least in the 9th century, and they also frequented the coast of Oman, Socotra, and Aden. Aden is the capital of Yemen. Okay, so Sindhi and Gujarati merchants, particularly both Hindu and Muslim, played a very dominant role in the trade. Okay, in this part of Gulf region, Sindhis and the Gujaratis, the early traders. Now you have this Malabars, the Keralites. They become entrepreneurs, traders today in Gulf region. Okay, but Sindhis and Gujaratis, the Muslims and Hindus, they were the main players during the colonial period and also pre-colonial period and also presently. But now there is a new trading community from the Indian community that is called Malabari, which means the Keralites. They have become entrepreneurs in the, what you call, in the Indian Ocean area. Okay, that's what I mean, the Gulf region. Yes. Then Vasco da Gama noted the presence of Indians on the source of East Africa in 1498. See, the Vasco da Gama, who was the one who was a Portuguese sailor who discovered sea route to India, he reached Calicut. He was the one, who found the sea route to India. Before that, the people came to India through land routes. Okay, that is what you must know it. So during this time, a Hindu temple existed in Iran. Port towns of Mocha and Aden and island cities of Taif and inland cities of Taif and Sana were also inhabited by the Indians. Okay, so Indian merchants were very visible. This Gulf region or the Arab region. The ruins of Hindu temple were found in Calcut, the principal Omani port of 15th century, which further suggests the settlement of Indians in Oman. See, you know that the Arab Peninsula also known for traders. The Arab traders are very well known. Please understand, Arab merchants, they have long history. Then the Hindu merchants. So, in fact, Arab merchants were who spread Islam to various parts of the world. This particularly Southeast Asia. Okay, so they are really they're very good in, even they came to India, all that through Arab merchant only. The Indian giro spread to Europe, all that. Okay, so Arab merchants, that's what I'm very surprised to see. Arabs were very good traders, but how they must be very competitive between the Arab traders and the Hindu merchants must be. But it's very really interesting how the Hindu merchants survived such a competitive atmosphere in a very alien soil. That's what you have to ask questions. Now you can do research on that aspect. How they survived in a very competitive, society. Because Arab traders are very well-known traders. They went to China, various parts of the world, and they spread, Islam, all that. They carried Islam as well as the trade goods from Arab region. So you should look into all this. Then in Iran, besides these places, Indians in small numbers had settled. Yeah, Sanjeev Kumar, please. What is your doubt? Yeah.
Sir, sir, regarding this trade,
Yeah.
probably during the early periods, the Indian traders might have, traded in Indian goods.
Oh, yeah.
That's how
Okay.
they might have settled, and later on they became almost equivalent to the Iran traders or whatever it may be. As of
Okay.
now, also in US, if I'm not wrong, many Indian shops are there being run by Indians only, sir. Even
Okay.
the Indians do visit those shops only, I think so, if I'm correct.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, a good point of view. And that's what, see, Indians also have a very strong trade. The Baniyas particularly, the Baniya is that Vaishyas, the trading caste, which involved in trade activities for a long time. But you should understand, of course, they were in trade, but colonialism, the British, they really encouraged this Baniyas to go, and they, promoted their trade. That is what, you are, for example, the Chettias from Tamil Nadu or from Andhras, Komati Chettis, they all went to Southeast Asia, Burma during British period. Okay, and they went and opened the money lending banks or whatever, and they became exploiters. And then the new government all became very strict. Even now in the Gulf region, Indian traders were suspected. Now you can't have an independent trade. You can start a business with a local. You can't start independently. That is what. So we'll discuss that. Yeah. But now I'm just talking about the historical, the past, how they were, doing trade in the Iran and the Gulf region. Following the establishment of a new port of Gomrin or Bandar Abbas, the late 17th century. So the Indians shifted to that new city in Iran. The Bandar Abbas was abandoned by the Persians. The Indians shifted to Abu Sair, Busra, and to the Iraqi port of Basra. Okay, so likewise, they just kept changing the trading post, to just expand their trade. By end of 18th century, Gujarati Baniyas were replaced by a new group of immigrants known as Sigapuris, who hailed from Sindh. Sindhis like Bhatiyas, Tatai Bhatiyas, Kachi, Bhatia, like these people, they were involved in trade in this part of the world. Okay, then British period gave a strong, support to the traders to establish themselves in this region. In contrast to 17th and 18th centuries, India's impact on the Persian Gulf region was very sporadic, confined only to trade. Okay, but Indo-Gulf relations during this period was very varied and multifaceted. Indians were involved in trade and commerce, and also modernization and cultural renaissance of this region. Because the musical instruments spread, the cuisines, the Indian cuisines were spreading in this part of the world. So the Gulf region, pre-colonial, was virtually an extension of British India. That's what. So in the British period, no, because the Gulf region also was part of British Empire. So it was very easy for them to trade with India and the Gulf region, because they received privileges. See, enjoyed privileges as British subject in that, Gulf region. The British administration in the Gulf helped to settle a number of Indian communities across the region. That's what I want to tell you. See, the trade connection existed since historical times, but during the British period, it got well established in this region. That is the point you have to keep in mind. These are the highlights. We may discuss many things in the class, but these are the points. The first one is, I said, India and Gulf region has a very strong trade link since historical times. Okay, but during the British period, it got consolidated. Okay, that is the point you have to keep in mind. Among these, the 19th century Muscat hosted three distinct Indian communities, that is called Tattai Sindhi Bhatiyas, Kachi Bhatiyas, and Kojas or Luwatiyas. These communities are very well-known trading communities still today. Okay, some of the very prominent entrepreneurs today also, they're very quite popular and visible in the trade circle. Besides Oman, Indian merchant communities also existed in Iran, Aden, and Prussian states. Like that's called United Arab UAE. Today it's called UAE. Indians were also involved in pearl fishing. Actually, how this India Gulf connection started, because of this pearl business. Okay, was very popular there. The Indians were trading because they needed pearls, so they started getting it from there. So in some of the Gulf countries, namely Bahrain, Oman, United Arab Emirates, pearl fishing was the mainstay of the Gulf economy before the oil boom. Please understand this. Pearl fishing was very quite popular, economic activity in the Gulf region, and before the oil boom, which came in 1973. So that is what. So now coming to country-wise, I told you there are 6 countries. Okay, Oman, Bahrain, UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, okay, and also Qatar. These 6 countries are called GCC countries. In Muscat, okay, the Indian merchants, mainly Hindus who lived there, a part of each year, well represented and influential. So that's what. See, any trading community will be very influential, because they're wealthy, they're well connected, so they'll be influential, of course. Okay, the Hindus were allowed their own religious practices. There were already existence for Hindu temples in Muscat by 1760s, which means 18th century itself. The trade influence of Indians were very strong in Oman. The late 18th century, even the Mysore, ruler Tipu Sultan had a trade link in this Oman, with Oman. He conducted his trade activities through a permanent representative stationed at Muscat. So it's very interesting point. Tipu Sultan was the ruler of this Mysore region, So he had a representative permanently in Muscat. About this time, the customs also in various administrative bodies where Indians were prominent. Okay, wealthy Indians from Kutch named Mauji Seth, whom British resident Satan described as the very richest subject in the place. So that's what, people went there, they good business, they became wealthier, and they became very influential in that country, That's why the locals started suspecting them, all that happened later. But, so that is what happened in the, various countries in Gulf. The Sindhi Bhatiyas were replaced by Kutchi Bhatiyas since the early 19th century, okay, in Muscat. I mean, we're talking about Oman now. The community grew in size and influence and continued to thrive until the brief establishment of the conservative Ibadi regime. Okay, so basically they allowed the Indian traders to flourish, but sometimes conservative rulers, they put restrictions on the Indian traders. That is Ibadi regime, which was very conservative. Meanwhile, in the post-Ibadi period, a new group called Kutchi Bhatiyas with international Indian trade connections, they expanded their trade activities in the Gulf region. Very important business families are Virji Purushottam, Tobrani, Premji. You can see it on the screen. Okay, Jamdas, Bhimani, Ratanji Purushottam, Daulat Girji. These are the families, business families in Muscat. I mean, in Oman. Okay, they are very popular, influential business leaders of Oman today. The last four families were considered four pillars of the Hindu society, 19th century Muscat. Okay, so they were the Baniyas, and they started, business in a small way, then expanded. They became very influential in course of time. See, these others also include Kimji Ramdas, Dayal Purushottam, Danji, Murarji, all these people, the Baniyas, basically the trading caste. The third group of Indians, apart from Hindu merchants, the Muslim merchants like Khojas and Boras and Ismailis, they also had a very strong trade link with Gulf region. Okay, the Gujarati Muslims particularly. Okay, for example, Khojas or Khujas, also called Lubatiyas, originating in Hyderabad, Sindh area, the Pakistan, Sindh. Okay, Hyderabad, not this Hyderabad. So these people, they had a trade link with, this part. They were settled in Matra, okay, living in segregation, and also they became a very powerful trading community. One very famous businessman, Muhammad Fadl, okay, and also Ali Sultan. These are very popular, Bora Muslim business leaders in Oman. Okay. The Luti community was more or less permanently settled in Oman. Since 1970, the Levitias have made active efforts to become assimilated into Omani society. So they became, settlers. Then finally, they also assimilated with the Omani society. Most of the Muslims, they could assimilate because of the religion, which is common to them. So that is what happened. But still, they're maintaining the Indian identity, Indian Muslim identity. Since the 1875, the Indians enjoyed British protection in Oman. This protection, however, was like a double-edged sword. That's why I told you, they were seen as agents to the British by the locals. It was some way, in one way, they had a privilege. The other way, the locals were suspecting them. So this is what happened to the Indian traders. Many Indian merchants were viewed with suspicion as agents of British designed for Oman. Notwithstanding these misgivings or misunderstanding, the number of Indian merchants continued to increase in the 20th century in this part, okay, in Oman. So Oman has a very strong Indian trading community, okay, because of its liberal policy and also very favored trade climate, which led to settlement of Indian trading community. Today also they're very visible in trade and commerce in Oman. Okay, the first half of the 20th century is characterized by minimal contacts between India and Oman, but after that, 1953, the ties between India and Oman started increasing, the trade ties. Okay, so the two kinds of Indian merchants, one is called, people of Indian origin category, the other one is non-resident Indian. That is what I told you also in the beginning. Okay, yes. Now coming to this, the prominent business houses which are owned by Omanis of Indian origin, they are the names, Kimji, all these names, you can see it on screen. I don't want to read it, all these caste names. Okay, then one particular case studies we will see. Okay, for example, Kimji Ramdas, he established his business in 1870, and now he became very, he's running chain of, supermarkets, selling foodstuffs, household goods, engineering equipments, building materials, furniture, and shipping, sports, and leisure goods. Okay, so Kimji now has diversified his business into manufacturing, paints, and processing. Even many Indians are part of Women Chamber of Commerce. They are a member of trading bodies. They have a lobby, strong lobby in women. It's a very influence because it's a woman has a long trading connection with India. Then going to the next slide, next very well-known businessman by the name Kanaksi Golakdas Kimji, the doyen of business house in Oman. Okay, for example, he just started a small company, then he diversified his business. Now it is a great, he is a very well-known businessman and also philanthropist. Okay, citizen of Oman. He was honored with the title of Sheikh of the Indian Hindu community with the government of Oman. Okay, so that is what many people have achieved a great success. Despite various obstacles, struggles, and barriers. You know, that is what happened. So now moving into next country, that is United Arab Emirates (UAE), which also host Indian traders. Okay, it also has a strong trade connections with India since ancient times. The Indian traders in 19th century, it's called Trucial Coast Emirates, were involved in diverse economic activities, that is pearl trading. Actually, Indian connections started with pearl trading with this region, then slowly selling Indian goods or getting the Arabian goods, whatever, that later, but it started with pearl business. Yeah. Except India or Indians, no other subject or country was allowed to do pearl fishing in UAE. The pearl was mainly bought by Indian merchants who exported them to India. That's what the records say that. There were about 400 Indian pearl merchants as were living in 1901 in this UAE part. Today it's called UAE. In that time it was called Trucial State, Sheikh Domes. Okay. Then the number of Indian traders further increased when some of them who previously lived in Linga then began to settle in Dubai. Dubai is a hub of Indian, the world is a hub of world trade. It's a very famous, still it is considered to be one of the wealthiest city in the world, and Indians are also very much visible in Dubai and in being part of trade or business in Dubai. Okay, since late 19th century, the Indians comprised second biggest merchant group after the native tribal Arabs. So the second business group in Dubai, okay, who dominated the pearl fishing and trading. Okay, and Indian merchants called Baniyas financed the pearl business and also banking. They monopolized shopkeeping, retail trade. Okay, that is what they slowly, gradually getting into other business activities. Okay. The merchant oligarchy continued until the collapse of the pearl industry. Then after the oil boom, they switched over to even very interesting thing I like to tell you here. Indian rupee was the legal tender in Gulf region during the British period. Imagine. Okay, that's why it promoted a close connection between India and Gulf region. Okay, see, the Indian rupee began to replace the Turkish currency in the region in 20th century. Soon the Indian paper rupee with British concern acquired the status of the sole legal tender in the Gulf countries. Okay, that's what, see, Indian rupee was the legal tender in the Gulf countries during British period, which really led to expansion of trade ties between India and Gulf countries. Okay, so even the locals, they see that, for example, the National Front, a loose organization of Dubai Arab merchants, opposed the growing influence of the Persian and Indian merchants in UAE. Okay, so that is very interesting point you have to note. Merchants are still dominant figures in Dubai, playing a vital role in its continued growth and development. Dubai's ancient calling as a city of merchants, you know, is a strong, still it is very vibrant. You know, you must, there is always, you know, you must have seen advertisement, Dubai Trade Fair. Okay, every year it comes. People from India still they go, you know, to buy. It's a very, you know, you get exposure. That's what the many traders they try to go to Dubai Trade Fair to know what new things have come. Okay, that's so Dubai is a still very vibrant place. It's a city of merchants. The new immigrants also today they become entrepreneurs. See, there are three categories of Indian entrepreneurs today: independent entrepreneurs who operate mostly in free trade zones, and partner entrepreneurs with local traders. There is another type of then sponsored entrepreneurs. The three types of entrepreneurs, Indian entrepreneurs in this in UAE. Okay, so these people have set up the Indian business houses there. Okay, so very prominent one is Yusuf Ali. He's from Kerala. Sorry, he's not from Kerala. He's from I think from UP, and he has set up EMKE Group in 1966, and basically departmental store. Okay, supermarket business. Okay, he has built a big empire today in UAE. Okay, then Jassan Mall National Company comprises wholesale and retail outlets, finances, overseas courier services, house marketing, so freight services, you know, so these people are involved in various these business activities. They emerged as a tycoons. You know, today they are tycoon. BR Shetty Group, okay, it's another very popular name in the medical sector in the Gulf, in the UAE. BR Shetty Group, okay, Shetty. Yeah. Then moving into next Gulf Cooperation Council country known as Bahrain. Bahrain in modern times has been home to an important Indian merchant colony since the beginning of 18th century. So Bahrain connection is 18th century, say. Okay, you have this Bhatiyas of Tatar, I mean the Sindhi Bhatiyas. Okay, and Gujarati merchants are very much visible in Bahrain. Okay, so Bahrain has, you know, Indian merchants like other Gulf countries. Its traditional economy was mainly on pearl fishing. Then now after this oil boom, they have expanded their business activities. Toy seller, for example, the most successful Indian entrepreneur in Bahrain, you know, Muhammad Dadabai, who was a famous toy seller turned hotel baron today. Okay, he runs various hotels, chain of hotels in Bahrain. Okay, so likewise, people have really gone as a very small businessman. They've expanded their trade and they've made a lot of wealth and they got well established and now they become tycoons, you know, business tycoons, become more influential. Then moving to the this next country, you know, which is what next country, for example, Indians have been operating their business in partnership with local Indian traders in West Asia. First, okay, that is what Rao Sahib Jashan Mall was one of the early Indian entrepreneur who is 19 Kuwait. Okay, let me discuss about Kuwait. By second of the 18th century, Kuwait had come to occupy an important place. It's a maritime city. Okay, Kuwait has a lot of Keralites, you know, then the North Indians, they are involved in, I mean, few are in trade because Kuwait is very conservative and you don't have much Indian merchants, okay? But they are involved in very retail business, small entrepreneurs, because it is a conservative country and they did not encourage Indian traders. So it's Indian business community continue to remain very small in number because why? The policy was very restrictive, and also the Kuwait rulers themselves were traders, so they did not encourage outsiders, you know, to be in trade. That is what happened in Kuwait. But still, people are, I mean, the Indian traders are involved in ethnic goods, you know, Indian ethnic goods. Small entrepreneurs are visible in Kuwait. Okay, so A.K. Malhotra, Rao Sahib, Dasan Mal, these two people are well-known name in Kuwait. Okay, then coming to Qatar, okay, the pearling and fishing was the mainstay of the Qatar economy, which continued to remain so until the establishment of oil industry in the mid 20th century. So basically, if you look at this lecture, the Indian merchants are very much visible in Oman, UAE, and also Bahrain. But in Qatar, Kuwait, you don't see them much, because of they small group and very restrictive policy, so they could not flourish. Okay, these are the reasons. Okay, and see, Qasim himself was a pearl trader, the major importance, and we get regarded Indians as a business competitors. One ruler by the name Qasim was compelled by the British political resident to apologize and pay compensation to on two occasions. So, like the very conservative rulers, they restricted the Indian traders to trade here. That's why Qatar, Kuwait had a very small trading community. Okay, and Yemen. Okay, when the Portuguese also entered Indian Ocean, so Yemen is also, allowed Indian traders to trade. There was no restriction. So Yemen also has uh, presence of Indian traders since historical time. You know, Indo-Yemen trade involved in locally produced Yemen coffee, Gujarati textiles, spices, and other necessities. Okay, so Surat was the main trading partner of Yemen during this period. So Gujarati merchants are very visible in Yemen, except Kuwait and Qatar. Other Gulf countries where Indian merchants played a very important role. They influenced local politics also. They became very visible and also wealthy. They built their own business empires, and they become very strong um, community in this region. For example, Aden was a great strategic importance of the British interest in the Gulf region. So Aden and India had a strong connection. I mean, Ammon, that's what the Baniyas, who were the wealthiest among the Hindus, they had a formal link with India ended, but rupee continued to be the currency until 1951. So that's why, you know, that's what I told you. Except these two countries, Kuwait and Qatar, other GCC countries where Indian merchants became very influential. They are, what you call who's who of that country. Okay. So coming to conclude, so Indian traders have been trading with Asian countries since ancient time. They settled there and they became diasporic community. And now since 15th century, 15th century, we have records. Okay, the connections go back historical time, but we have a record from 15th century, the presence of Indian traders. That's what you have to keep in mind. Okay, then from petty merchants to wholesale dealers and multinational financiers today, and also they are bankers and business tycoons today. So this is what about the Indian trading community in the Gulf region or the West Asia, and they are growing, and also their influence is growing. That is what today I want to discuss with you. So now the floor is open for any questions or any comments from you. I hope it's clear to you. I mean, you have got idea. Let me just give you a brief review of this, what I did today. See, the connection go back to historical times, but British period it got consolidated, and Gujaratis, Sindhis, and both Hindus and Muslims played a very important role in Gulf trade connections between India and Gulf. And also, I told you today you have new entrepreneur from Kerala that's called Malabari Muslims. Also, the new immigrants, they became the trading or merchants in this region. And now they are not as popular as they were because of the low nationalization policy, conservative religious policy, ethnic policy have really, made them to partner with locals. You can't start independent business. You have to partner with somebody because of growing influence of Indian merchants in this region. Now they want to restrict that. That is what happening today. So with this, let me conclude. Now the floor is open for question. Come on, let's start discussing for 10 minutes. I want to take up questions from you all. Yes. Any questions? No questions. Dev Pragya, Kartikeya, Basir, Devtanu Chatterjee, Sanjeev, Sandhya. No questions? That's be a question. Yes.
Sir, why this partnership entrepreneurship has come into force, sir? Any? Yeah.
That's what no
And
nationalization.
and I think in the present scenario, it has become a compulsory kind of thing especially in West Asia.
That's what Sanjeev. The problem is, the localization, you can call it, or nationalism, which led to this kind of restriction. Maybe you can say the rise of right-wing politics.
Yes.
Which is everywhere today. Even in you today, Trump has won the election. It shows that the locals, they don't want migrants to take over the country. That is
Yes.
also son of the soil policy,
Mm.
the name of decolonization, or whatever you call it. So now locals want their own, they wanted to be recognized, they wanted to be given importance, all that. That is what it's a simple nationalization policy, which led
So
to this.
we can simply call it as nationalization policy.
Yeah, that's what not nationalization policy, nationalism, the rise of nationalism, which is hampering the others, migrants or anybody to have more influence in trade or business. No, see, it's obvious. No, for example, you're in Hyderabad,
Yes.
an outsider is doing well. You are not happy with. I mean, you are not
Yes.
doing well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you always tell no. So you have to protect the locals. You have to protect the locals, not the outsiders. So it's obvious. It's a mind. It's a psyche of the mind. Psychological thing. So that's what now happening. Now the power is in the hands of the locals. See, during the British period,
Basically, we can say
yeah,
it's for the interest of the locals.
yeah, for the interest
In
of
the
the
interest
locals.
of the locals.
Because that's the politics, no? For example, during the British period, Indian traders were able to make a lot of money because they had a privilege, because British government supported them to do. But
Yes.
now the local government is not allowing, because the government has to get the votes from the locals, no? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You got the point, sir.
Yeah. Now I think others also have some question. I think Dominicos, I think you wanted to ask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
Kartikeya also want to ask. Kartikeya, your turn is next. Yeah, Dominicos, you asked me a question. Yes.
yes, sir. So, what is where the primary goods traded between India and West Asia? Told the story.
Can you
Because
repeat it? Yeah, can you
I want
repeat
to
your
know
question?
what is the primary goods traded
Acha,
between the India and West Asia?
that's what
Told
in
the story.
the beginning it was a pearl. Okay, pearl was exported from Gulf to India. From India, the textiles were exported to Gulf. Okay, and
Okay.
spices also from India. Textiles also from India. But now, what is the trade? The trade is, for example, India's importing oil or other related thing, but India still supplying textile goods and other manufacturing goods, sports goods, all from India mostly. Okay, because it's a very tough region, climate wise, and also they don't have much natural resources to have a manufacturing industries there. So manufactured goods, even paints, construction goods, all from India, because of nearby, geographical proximity is there. That's why even diamond trade also very popular. Diamonds from India, which go to Gulf region. Okay, that is
Okay.
what.
Yes, sir.
Particularly, the West Coast is very connected by this textiles, spices, and construction goods, sports goods, manufacturing goods, engineering goods, all from India to Gulf region. Because they have a very tough geographical terrain, you know. Only they have oil, okay, to sell. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, thank you. Got
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
yeah. Next,
Hello.
Kartikeya. Yes, Kartikeya, tell
Hi,
me.
sir.
Can I have your introduction because I was asking your name, you were not there. Yes, yeah, tell me
Yes,
your,
sir. I
yeah.
wasn't there in the last class. I am Singh. I work with the World Health Organization, and
Okay.
I was pursuing this course because it aligns with my academic interests, and
Okay.
I later on wish to do a PhD. So I'm just trying to go through the classes and maybe finalize a research topic
Okay.
that may interest me. So, sir, incidentally, I was just reading this latest book by Mr. William Dalrymple, the historian,
Yeah, yeah.
called The
William.
Golden Road. And, sir,
Okay.
it presents a very new account, which perhaps, there's a debate where it's saying that a lot of Marxist historians had neglected how much India used to trade with the West through West Asia, and all the
Okay.
way till the time of antiquity, till the time of the Roman Empire. There used to be a lot of trade between India and Rome, and so maybe our fellow classmates can give that book a read, and it may present them a very interesting account of how
Yeah.
the trade used to
So
happen.
that's what it's a good update on that. Thank you, Kartikeya. And also, I want to give you one more book name you must read.
Yes,
Indian
sir.
Trade Diaspora in the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, what is the book name? Indian
Indian
Trade
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 diaspora.
Diaspora in the Arabian Peninsula by
India.
Prakash C. Jain and Kundan Kumar. It's an edited book, and they have put together all the important articles related to Indian trade diaspora. Okay. For
Okay.
example, I'm reading one article, for example, Indian merchant networks outside India in 19th and 20th century. You know, that Glad Markowitz is a very well-known economic historian. He has written that. Then, when business run on faith and trust by Ram Baksani, India Gulf economic relations, Indian traders in Amman by Surendra Gopal, a lot of books, you know, the Bora community in Bahrain. So these books will be helpful, you know. I mean, this book is a very comprehensive one, and you can just, have a look at Indian trade diaspora in the Arabian Peninsula. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So anyone else? Like anybody have
Hello.
any? Yes.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you.
I have an issue. Does the metropolitan capitalism under the British allowed the Indian mercantile class to operate freely in their periphery in even at that material point of time, the periphery areas, the Gulf countries? It's my issue at my point of view.
Okay. Tell me
The
how.
metropolitan yes,
Yeah.
the metropolitan capitalism under the British, they
Yeah.
actually, I think, they played a cooperative role for the mercantile class or the Indian merchant class
Yeah.
to have a free hand at the then periphery area of the Gulf GCC countries.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
my point.
Yes. Can you complete your question, Mr.
Yes.
Chatterjee?
No,
Yeah.
it's not my question. It's my. I think it's just a point of view.
Yeah. Yes, I'll tell you. Same thing also. The British, the mercantile capitalist, capitalism. They also,
Yes.
They encourage, the what do you call this Marwadis. Marwadis also
Marwaris,
migrate.
yes, Marwaris and Jains. Yes.
Yeah, Jains to
In the
migrate to
South Africa.
Yeah, and also they also allowed them to flourish in India also. For
Sorry, yes, sir,
example,
yes.
from Rajasthan, they went in large numbers to Kolkata and Madras,
Yes, sir.
Bombay.
Yes.
That is the time
Yes.
they all came. Marwadis came. For example,
Yes.
in
Yes.
Kolkata or in Madras, there's a separate town within the town.
Yes.
They have a strong
sir.
presence. This all
Yes.
happened during
In
colonial
Parabazar in
time.
Calcutta.
Yeah, in
Yes,
colonial
sir. Yes.
time. Okay,
Yes,
you're
sir.
right. I agree with you. That is right. Yeah, they
Oh, thanks, sir.
they
Okay,
co-opted. They co-opted. They encouraged because they all British also they needed their support
Yes, sir.
for their own capitalist interest, I think.
Yes, you're right. I agree with you. Yes, that's what I told you.
Thanks.
The
Yes,
Indian trade connection between Gulf and India got consolidated during the British period. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, good observation. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Now we have Sophia also here. Sophia, you have any questions?
No, sir.
Sorry,
I joined late.
Yeah, you joined late, but can we have your introduction, please?
Yeah, sure. My name is Sophia. I'm basically a freelancer. I used to work with the New Zealand High Commission as a visa officer earlier.
Okay.
So after leaving that, I started freelancing with my ex-colleagues who have their own New Zealand immigration consultancy.
Oh, great.
So immigration is I've been in this field for approximately over 20 years now. So I thought of enrolling for masters. I haven't completed the first year yet. I've just given a few papers.
Okay.
So I hope to finish the first year in December this year.
Okay, that's fine. You are based in Delhi?
That's all about me, sir.
Okay, you are based
Yes,
in
sir.
Delhi. Okay, good. So I think today we discussed about Indian traders in West Asia. So just I wanted to brief you, like we just discussed, India's trade connection with Gulf region go back to historical times. We have a trade ties even since Indus Valley times, but it became consolidated. The trade connection got consolidated during British period, because the British, they encouraged Indian traders, merchants to go and settle there and trade, because for their own capitalistic interest, as pointed out by Devdanu Chatterjee as well. Okay, so they're allowed to operate in the trade post of the Gulf region, and also mainly the Sindhis and Gujaratis from the west coast, and also the Muslims like Boras and Khojas and Ismailis. These communities were very much visible in this Gulf region. And up today, the modern time, the Keralites, the Malabari Muslims, the Hindus they become entrepreneurs. But what is happening today?
Yeah, that's right.
What is happening today, because of nationalism, local nationalism, the right-wing politics or whatever, now they are facing restrictions in terms of trade barriers and all, because now you can't start your own business independently. You have to partner with the local, because the Indian community, the trading community became very influential. So that's why they wanted to put what do you call they want to hamper that, like they wanted to they say that you want to do business here, then you have to have your local partner. He may be a sleeping partner, but you have to add him in the business. That's what happening today. But still, given India's proximity, Indian merchants are very much visible, very much wealthier, and also very much influential in this country. That's what my point I made today. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
That's what we discussed today. Anybody else? Anything you have doubts? Then we can wrap it up.
Sir.
Yeah, that's all. Okay. Then see you next week. See you next Sunday. Okay. Yeah. Next Sunday, I'll be discussing on brain drain migration. Okay, the brain drain, the skilled migration from India. Okay, that will be my topic. Okay, same time, I'll see you. You all tune in same time, and we'll meet at same place, of course, on online. So see you then. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, somebody has asked question. No, yeah, no questions. Yeah. Dr. Feroz, Miss, hello. Mrs. Feroz.
Sir?
You come back, Feroz. Done. Class is
No,
done.
no, sir. I am Sanjeev, sir.
Oh, Sanjay. Okay, Sanjay. I don't know. Yes, Sanjay. Any questions?
Have a few tips with regard to examination point of view, sir, as to how to write the answer, what to keep.
That's
Yes.
what, no, Sanjeev, you said what you are, like you are working what? You're working
Private
as?
concerns, actually.
Okay. See, you have to, write, you have to, for example, I gave you lecture, okay, today. So you must take down the highlights. Like I told you, 5 highlights, for example,
Yes.
the trade ties existed from since historical times, and it became stronger during colonial time. Then these are the communities, and these are the countries where they are very much visible. So you have to make the important points for every topic. Like you have to keep in your mind, like bullet points.
Yes.
Then,
Okay.
then that you can expand it in your own way.
Own words. Okay.
Yeah, one word. That's all. Simple, Sanjay. It's not a big thing. You
Okay.
know, have you seen journalists? That's what they do. Just they go to meeting, they'll note down the main points, the
Hmm.
facts. Then they'll go back to their desk, they will expand, they will write a draft. That's all. You
Okay.
for example, I'll give you one example. India and Gulf trade existed since historical periods.
Yes.
इसके लिए अब हम क्या लिख
Yes.
सकते हैं? What
Yes.
you can write, I'll tell you. See, since India and Gulf countries have a close geographical connection, the trade was existing between these countries since Indus Valley times. The Indian traders were trading back and forth, okay, and they were trading goods like spices, textiles, and pearls. That's all you can write like
No.
this.
Yeah. That
Because
is in our own words.
your own words you can write, and these are the 5 important points. You can expand that. That's all.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then also I'll tell you your book, your IGNOU book. At the end, you have a question answer something. Check
Exercises.
exercises. That will give you an idea how to write. So it's not a big thing, Sanjay. It's a very simple thing. Simple essay you can write.
Okay.
First you have to collect the facts. Okay. After collecting the facts, you can write it in your own words. That's all.
Okay.
Yes, Sanjay. Yes, thank you. So Basir sir is there still? Basir? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very engrossing lecture.
Okay.
Learned a lot.
Have you learned something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Many things, sir.
Okay. So you should say about Kashmir connection with West Asia. Tell me anything. You must be knowing some Kashmir connection with West Asia.
Kashmir has more an association with, has remained historically very close to Central Asia. And in many ways, we think we are part of Central Asia also.
Okay.
Because the terrain is it is higher in altitude, like we have many countries in Central Asia. Our trade routes connect with Central Asia. We have been part of Silk Route historically. But with West Asia, now links have developed because of the revolution in transportation, and also because our holy places are
Yeah, that's true.
located,
Yeah.
especially in Saudi Arabia. And a lot of people from have trade links with in Dubai. Some of them have stayed in Saudi Arabia also. So there are pretty strong links now.
Okay. Of course. Basir, are you getting my class lecture clearly there in Srinagar? Can you hear?
Yeah, absolutely fine, clear, no issues.
Okay.
It was actually at the start there were some hiccups, but it is okay.
Okay, good. Thank you for your comment and also your observation and your knowledge on this. So we will just we'll meet next week. Okay, next Sunday. Okay, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Dr. Feroz, are you there? Can we just?
No, sir. I'm.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, just you can close down now. Its class is done.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, shall we end the meeting?
Yeah. आप बंद कर लीजिए.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.